on recommendations by the PRSSA student leadership, Com Day was split into 2 days this year. The networking event is in the fall, and the speaker and portfolio and resume review event is in the spring. In fact, that event occurred just earlier today, and it was a huge success. 2 shout-outs are due. One to the PRSSA students and their advisor, Rachel Revelette, a continuing lecturer in the Lamb School, and the director of our student organizations. And then another to our external advisory board, who have stepped up the past few years to support these events through their sharing of their talent, their treasure, and sometimes their organization's treasure as well, all for the benefit of our students. You'll hear more from Rachel about our student organizations in a few minutes, but now let's recognize Rachel and the students of PRSSA with applause for the Great Com Day. Although I just mentioned them, I'd like to individually recognize our external advisory board members for their enthusiasm, their dedication, and just their hard work. All their names are listed in the program, and I'd like those that are here today to stand up, please. They're scattered through the tables tonight. Few of these board members who are going to be stepping off the board after our spring meeting tomorrow. But the good news is they're going to be moving on to our emeritus board, so they'll still be with us for consultation. Would I like those who will be stepping off the board, I'd like you to come forward, please. Josh Miles is going to remain on the board, but those stepping off, would you please come up? We have a little something for you. Please. All just been terrific in helping us accomplish a lot of the goals that we have. So what we have for each of them is a clock with a plaque that says the name of the advisory board member. In this case, I have Michael Schifferl. In appreciation for your dedication to the Brian Lamb School of Communication 2018. So Michael, I'd like to thank you. And Kurt Rose, there you are. Celeste Davis.
Sneaker.
And last but not least, Jay Fano. Again, thank you all.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. On the undergraduate program front, our Degree in 3 program continues to be recognized. Just this week, the Chronicle of Higher Education is featuring the Lamb School and our very own Dr. Josh Boyd and one of our 3-year degree students, J.D. Arland. Josh, our Director of Undergraduate Studies, will have some more to say about our Degree in 3 program in a few minutes. COM 114, our Fundamentals of Speech Communication program, and COM 217, our Science Communication program, were honored together with a Program of Distinction Award from the National Communication Association Convention back in November of 2017. Kudos to Dr. Jennifer Hall and Dr. Melanie Morgan and their teams of mostly graduate students for making this award possible. Congratulations to Jen. COM 114. Melanie couldn't be with us here tonight. So it's fitting to acknowledge both our campus graduate program directed by Dr. Melanie Morgan, and our online master's program, directed by Dr. Bart Collins. Our campus program has more than 50 students who teach, take classes, and conduct research. For example, 3 of those students will receive top paper awards this week. They're accepting those awards this weekend at the Central States Communication Association Convention. Congratulations to Clinton Brown, who's one of those 3, Elizabeth Hintz, and Henry Seeger. You won't see them here tonight because they're at that conference. You'll hear more about our other graduate students and the awards that they won in a little bit. And we have our online master's program as well, which currently enrolls more than 450 students all around the country and even internationally. And after May graduation, we'll surpass 400 graduates of the program as well. Bart and his team achieved the John R. Bourne Outstanding Online Program Award from the Online Learning Consortium. So again, Bart couldn't be here, but I think we should still congratulate him and the team that he worked with. In faculty and continuing lecturer news this past year, in 2017, 2 of our faculty members were promoted. Doug Osmond was promoted to Clinical Associate Professor. Doug, would you please stand? There he is. Congratulations. And Dr. Bart Collins was promoted to Clinical Full Professor. This past fall, we welcomed Dustin Grove, who we hired away from WLFI to become a continuing lecturer in the Lamb School. Dustin teaches courses in our Digital Media Production Center, and he recently was integral to the Lamb School receiving a generous donation from Wish TV in Indianapolis of a set. The set that they donated to us is valued at over $200,000. And again, it was because of connections that Dustin had that helped us gain that wonderful donation. Dustin is already having a positive impact on the program, and his students, some of whom chose him as their influential person, are here tonight. Dustin couldn't be with us. He's actually taking his little boy to his first national baseball game for his birthday. And I said, I think that's more important, as a matter of fact. So he couldn't be with us, but again, do much appreciation for the work he's doing in such a short period of time.
I want to start by talking about our outstanding senior. She majors in public relations and strategic communication, and since she transferred into comm from animal sciences, she has really gotten the most out of her time in the Lamb School. Her grades are certainly excellent. Her range of experiences outside of the classroom also very impressive. She studied abroad for a summer program in Barcelona with Brian Smith, and also for a full semester at Victoria University of Wellington, New Zealand. Many faculty and staff members wrote about her, and they write about things like her positive spirit, her dependability across many contexts, her professionalism, her critical thinking skills, and her sensitivity to others. One of her professors, who taught her in 3 different classes, wrote, "Mackenzie has been my best student over the past 5 years. It's not even close." Another professor wrote that she is very eager to learn and be challenged. She sat on the front row of my class and had an answer to every problem I posed. One of her Spanish professors, which is her minor, commented, "Her work received some of the highest grades I've ever given in this class." Help me congratulate Mackenzie Brenneman. So the other recognition that we have for some of our very top seniors is the Kendall Award. And this award generally recognizes students that were very involved in various ways outside the classroom, on campus, through internships, through other things like that. And we have 3 recipients of the Kendall Award this year. The first one is a mass communication major and is finishing her degree in 3 years. I believe she's the first 3-year student we've had to make it into this top tier of senior recognitions. She has been a manager for the men's basketball team. She is also going to be featured in the Chronicle of Higher Education article tomorrow. And outside the classroom, in addition to being a manager for the basketball team, she's also been an entrepreneur. So she started an online clothing boutique, and it went so well that she's opened now 2 bricks and mortar locations, one of which is here in West Lafayette, Dawson and Daisy down on the levee. And one of her endorsers said, being able to look at the big picture has allowed her to see how all of her opportunities, academic, athletic, and entrepreneurship, can influence and benefit one another. One of her professors called her comments in class always insightful and delivered with care. Help me congratulate Gabby Gary. Our next Kindle Award winner, another one of our terrific seniors, is also a Public Relations and Strategic Communication major. She's been president of Lambda Pi Eta, vice president of the Public Relations Student Society of America. She's interned at Purdue Marketing and Media, IU Health, and Simon Property Group in Indianapolis. She studied abroad in Siena. She's been an in-game host for Purdue in a couple of different sports. One endorser said, I am constantly impressed by the quality of her work, her collaboration with her coworkers, and the sense of ownership she takes of her projects. Another wrote that she was worthy of recognition in grades, in career prep through internships and jobs, in attitude, and in the way she represents the Lamb School as president of Lambda Pi Eta. Help me congratulate Katie Market. And our third Kindle Award winner is also a major in Public Relations and Strategic Communication. He transferred from statistics and has been just a great ambassador for communication. He has sat on the University Murphy Awards Committee twice, which I don't think we've ever had a student do. He's been a student manager for Purdue baseball. He's interned at a TV station in Fort Wayne. He's been an RA in a co-op. He's been a research assistant. He's interned twice with the Cincinnati Reds, and one of those was during a semester, so he drove back and forth to Cincinnati last fall, every weekend, I think, to work for the Reds then. One endorser said, this student distinguished himself as a mature, articulate, and serious student who consistently displayed a positive attitude toward learning. Another said, rarely have I encountered a student as driven and enthusiastic as this student, and I'm going to miss him a lot when he leaves. So, Frank Vandeputty, come on up. All right. We also have a number of other students who were nominated either on the basis of their grades or by faculty members as being among our top graduates. And so these are all distinguished seniors in communication. The first one is a mass comm major. She's had 3 internships. She's been a cheerleader. She's been a Purdue in-game host and has worked with our Fast Track news magazine, both the recorded version and the live version, Danielle DeCapua. Our next distinguished senior is a major in Public Relations and Strategic Communication. She's had a marketing and communication internship and studied abroad in Ireland with Beth Wilson last summer. Ashlyn Fleming. Our next distinguished senior tonight is a double major in Public Relations, Strategic Communication, and English. She's interned with Texas Roadhouse's headquarters in Louisville and one of their ad agencies, Abby McClellan. Our next distinguished senior is a major in public relations and strategic communication. She's been a research assistant. She worked on our focus groups as we were investigating and revising our major that's kind of in the works right now. She's been accepted for graduate school at the University of Chicago. Help me congratulate Xuan Q. So our next distinguished senior is a major in corporate communication. She has studied abroad in Greece. She's currently interning at the State House. I was not sure if she would be able to make it. I actually ran into a state representative a few weeks ago, and I said, oh, we have a couple students working in Indianapolis. One of them is this person. She said, oh, she works for me. And she's terrific. And so I'm glad to recognize her tonight. I'm glad she can join us. Shanitha Shepard. This distinguished senior has spent a semester in Copenhagen at Copenhagen Business School. She's a public relations and strategic communication major. She's interned with Accenture Chicago, Purdue Marketing and Media, Matchbox Co-working Studio here, and is looking forward to grad school in the fall. Emmeline Terry. You've already met this person, but she's majoring in public relations and strategic communication. She has a certificate in entrepreneurship and innovation. She was, earlier in her college career, the Indiana State Senate Intern of the Year. She's also interned with Mitch Daniels. She studied abroad in Munich. She's been accepted for a master's program at Johns Hopkins University, although I think she's going to continue working for the State Senate, maybe. Tori Ward. Our next distinguished senior also majored in public relations and strategic communication. She has been part of the Crazy Monkeys comedy improv troupe here on campus. She's worked with Old Masters, she's worked with Boiler Gold Rush, interned at the Children's Museum in Indianapolis and the Vet School. Natalie Weber. This student majored in public relations and strategic communication. She has had a research assistantship. She's been president of the Liberal Arts International Student Council, and she has also been admitted to the University of Chicago. Cecilia Schau. This student is a double major in public relations, strategic communication, and economics, has had 3 internships, has been a teaching assistant in economics, and studied abroad in Siena. At Purdue, the A+ grade is purely symbolic. You don't get any extra points for getting an A+. But it usually means that you're one of the top students or the very top student in your class, and this student has received 14 of those in her time at Purdue. Yujie Yang. And our last distinguished senior tonight is a mass communication major. He's been a research assistant. He's worked on our Fast Track news magazine, was the first international student intern at TV18, and one endorser wrote, he is tenaciously persistent about improving. Shwande Ye. Each year we also recognize some of our distinguished new majors in communication, and this is a very small pool. To be eligible for this award, you have to earn nothing less than an A- in your pre-com courses. So we have 3 courses students all have to take before they're officially admitted to the major, and so it's a relatively small pool of students who manage to ace Com 102, Com 204, and Com 318. But from this group, Tonight we have 3 students to recognize as distinguished new communication majors. The first is double majoring in Public Relations, Strategic Communication, and Marketing. She's been the social media coordinator for Public Relations Student Society of America and has been an intern with Agreement Genetics with over 40 direct reports under her. Faith Hoffman. Our second distinguished new major is majoring in mass communication, is involved in Purdue Student Union Board, and in 2 of her 3 pre-com classes she managed to get A+, including mine, which is something. So Caitlin Milton. And our third distinguished new major tonight is double majoring in Communication and Art Studies. She's a student ambassador in Exploratory Studies, Lindsay Wirtz. We also give a service award to a student who's been particularly involved in some kind of service during their time at Purdue. And this year's winner is a major in Human Relations. She's been a study abroad ambassador. She's active in her church group. She went on Purdue's service spring break trip to Memphis, and she's currently the leader of member engagement in the Convocations Volunteer Network, Anissa Orozco. Now we get into scholarships. All of these, of course, are provided by generous donors over the years. A couple of those donors, I think, are in the room. I'm not going to single them out. But most of these are endowed scholarships, and so we have money every year that spins off from the endowment, and we're able to award these to students for different kinds of reasons. Several are related to study abroad. Others are related to achievement in a particular area of study within the Lamb School. So first we'll start with some study abroad scholarships. This is the McDowell and Gilliam Scholarship. And I believe we have with us one member tonight. One of these scholarship recipients is already spending her scholarship as she is in Copenhagen this semester. That's Kelsey Cochran, but she couldn't be with us tonight, obviously. Another winner is a major in Public Relations and Strategic Communication. She's a CLA Dean's Ambassador. She's been a Wilkie Research Intern, and she's going to be spending fall semester at the National University of Singapore. Grace Van Orman. Another McDowell and Gilliam scholarship, those were both for full semesters, so those are $2,000 scholarships. For summer programs, McDowell and Gilliam funds some $1,000 scholarships. The first one goes to a Public Relations and Strategic Communication major who's going to be spending her summer in our London internship program, Jessica Bullitt. The second one of these $1,000 scholarships goes to a pre-communication student who's spending summer in Lima, Peru, Chelsea Ho. Another $1,000 scholarship goes to a pre-com student who's going to be summering in Siena, Italy with Jane Nat's program, Madison Sanneman. We have another study abroad scholarship, the Plank Study Abroad Scholarship. This one is $1,200 this year. And we're going to try something new. This student is already spending her scholarship in London right now, where she's spending the semester. She majors in corporate communication. She's been an Old Masters host. She's on the Campus House Servants Council, she's an Exploratory Studies Ambassador, and is a host for our Rising Professionals program, which is kind of a new version for old masters that aren't so old yet. And she is currently in London, and she has sent us a recorded message that we're going to hopefully watch, so if you want to turn your attention to the monitors, this is Laura Boat. Let's see if we have Laura. Mission Control is on a different floor of this building, and so see how it works out. Maybe. 1 minute. Okay, we're still working on it. I'll go ahead and tell you about our next recipient while we're waiting for that. This is somebody that you've already met tonight, but this is a scholarship. Oh, we're good. Okay, let's watch Laura.
Like study abroad scholarship, and just for the opportunities that William School has given me in the past 3 years, it really means the world to me. Especially the opportunity to study abroad and that you guys help with the financial burden. I've been able to travel around the world, try foods from around the world, and also intern and gain experience in the communication field in London. So once again, thank you for this opportunity and for making this possible for Boilermakers like me. I just wanted to say
The William Wigglesworth Scholarship goes to a student majoring in either general communication, corporate communication, or human relations. And the winner this year wrote in her application that critical thinking is the most important thing that she's learned while in the Lamb School, the need for a thoughtful, reflective process before making decisions. And she is finishing up her internship at the Indiana State House. Again, it's Shanitha Shepard. Shanitha. The Serendipity Scholarship recognizes a student who interns with WBAA. Obviously, with our Brian Lamb roots, we go far back in radio, and we still try to develop relationships with WBAA. We've had a lot of students intern there. And this year's recipient of the Serendipity Scholarship is a Public Relations and Strategic Communication major. She's been an intern at WBAA since October, and also interned with a broadcasting company in China last summer, Cheryl Yuan. Our Lamb Scholars support incoming students, so a lot of our Lamb Scholar money goes toward incoming students that we're trying to recruit and get to come to Purdue, but we also use some of our Lamb Scholar donation to recognize current students that are continuing in our program. One of those who's with us tonight is a pre-communication major. He's working on degree in 3. He's an intern at the Center for C-SPAN Research and Engagement, a peer mentor in the College of Liberal Arts, and last fall, as a first semester freshman, he was one of 50 Purdue students, would-be broadcasters, who tried out to be a broadcaster for a Big Ten Network broadcasted Purdue women's basketball game. And as a first semester freshman, he beat out the other 49 applicants and got to call the game on the Big Ten Network, and when highlights were on ESPN, there was his voice right there on ESPN. So help me recognize J.D. Arlen. And we also have tonight as a Lamb Scholar a student who's double majoring in Public Relations, Strategic Communication, and Political Science. She's active in Purduettes and improv comedy. She served as the Lamb School social media director last summer and has also been a research fellow at the Purdue Policy Research Institute. Caroline Shanley. We have 2 scholarships that go to honors students. So we have an honors college now, but honors is not the major, so you major in a program and you're also part of the honors college. And so this requires students to be in the honors program and also comm majors. So our first recipient tonight is a mass communication major. She's already taken 4 honors classes early in her career here. And one of the things these students are supposed to write about is what makes an honors class different. And she writes that she values the meaningful discussions of honors classes that allow her to learn from the perspectives of others. Unique Beaver. going to try for our second video daily double here in just a moment. The other winner of the Dr. Albert J. White Scholarship is currently studying at the National University of Singapore. He is a triple major in Public Relations, Strategic Communication, Political Science, and Professional Writing. He's taken 7 honors classes already, and he says that a good honors class intertwines the learning objectives of a traditional classroom with a culture of innovation and an enthusiasm for progress. So let's see if we have a word from Adam Cullors. Give him a minute to pop up here.
My name is Adam Cullors, and welcome to Singapore. I've currently been living on this island for 3 months now. I'm incredibly honored to have been awarded the White Scholarship, and I apologize for not being able to attend the banquet flights from Singapore to West Lafayette. They're kind of expensive this time of year. I'm currently pursuing my exchange program into spring 2018 semester at the National University of Singapore as a partnership between Purdue and NUS. So thank you again for the scholarship, and I apologize in advance that I'm not able to be there. Thank you.
All right, let's give that a You might have noticed several mentions of Copenhagen and Singapore. These are the 2 exchange programs that we have the closest ties with, the National University of Singapore and Copenhagen Business School. We have some students here tonight that have been part of those programs, but they have great comm programs so students can stay on track for graduation while they're studying there. We're glad to continue to have those relationships. Our last category in our undergraduate awards tonight is a scholarship we've never given before. So some of you may have heard or remember, or maybe you'll read about it in the Chronicle of Higher Education, that when the Lamb School started its Degree in 3 program, we were the first one on campus, and it was in response to a contest run by Mitch Daniels, and we won $500,000 for being the first to have this program. So part of what we did with that money was to endow scholarships to help students trying to get in through Degree in 3 with summer, because that's an expense that they might not have planned for otherwise. And even with summer, it's cheaper to do Degree in 3. But we have $2,000 scholarships for Degree in 3 students for their summer studies. And we have 3 of those, the first 3 winners of those tonight. The first one is Michaela Boniface. The second is Chris Garrett. And the third is Sophia Holt-Wilson. So Rachel Ravelette, who is our Director of Student Organizations, is going to come up and introduce to you some of our student leaders in those organizations.
Good evening. It's been such a joy to be here with you and celebrate all the amazing people and their accomplishments who are part of our Lamb School family. But we would be cutting the evening short if we didn't celebrate our student organizations. So before I tell you a little bit about what they've been up to, if you are a member of a student organization connected to the Lamb School, would you please stand and be recognized? Those of you who can think back to your college days, you know that the learning doesn't stop in the classroom. A lot of what our students learn, especially their applied skills, comes through their work in student organizations. Our student organizations are doing great things every year. Some highlights this year: Roundhouse Radio is a fairly new organization on campus, and it was started by a student who had such an impactful experience with radio at her high school that she wanted to do that here at Purdue. And so that's a really exciting development. Marifran already mentioned that PRSSA has now split Comm Day, the signature event connected to that organization, into 2 events. If you've ever done event planning in an organization with very complicated organizational rules, you know that that's a big job. And the student organization took it on this year. 2 big events, 1 in each semester, and did beautifully. And then finally, I want to highlight the Association for Women in Communication, which at this point is run by freshmen, and they are killing it. They're doing a great job. And so here's my challenge to all of you here today. If you are not on campus, follow these student organizations on their social media accounts. See what they're doing, and I guarantee you, you will be impressed. If you are on campus, like a faculty member or a staff member, when you hear about student organizations and their events, encourage other students to go and pop in. I promise you will be welcome and you will be impressed with what our students are doing. So again, thank you to all of our students and the student organizations for the hard work that you're doing, and I hope that the rest of us will continue to watch and cheer you on.